What's the question? Go ahead.
What is the highlight of your day, or like
Yeah.
what is the best part of your day?
And there's a whole psychology. So I'm getting to your question of how we create this connection. When you ask your kids, what's the best part of your day? Tell me why it was so meaningful for you. Suddenly, it's not how was school, what'd you learn, how was your day. Suddenly, they're thinking, what was the best part of my day? So when they tell you, they're like, Dad, I had the fitness test today and I cranked out 62 push-ups. I beat Parker. I'm like, dude, that's amazing. You must feel amazing. So I emotionally label them, right? You must feel amazing. You match that energy. How cool is it when we want to share something? Like when you get a part, right? And you come home and you tell your wife, you're like, guess what? I got the part, right? And she matches that energy. It creates such a beautiful connection. That's one question. The second question is this. Well, what's the second question?
What was the least favorite part of your day? What was something that like challenged you the most?
Yeah.
And you get like an answer like, "Oh, I didn't like this," or "I didn't like that."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is where you can create an environment of psychological safety. So I'll show you a good, like the good response and the response that's more typical, right? Mm-hmm. So let's just say, I say, hey, Ethan, what was your biggest challenge today? What did you fail at? What was the low point of your day? What did you learn? Now, I love asking the question of what did you fail at today? Because it gets us used to the fact, parents are terrified to see their kids fail. I mean, look at any Little League game. They flip out, right? Yeah. But fail, right? Fail forward, fail fast, right? And learn. That's the thing is learn, right? So I think it was you or Mason. I can't remember who it was, but I'll never forget. One was like, hey, what was a challenge for you today? And be like, and you'll see it, right? Dad, you remember when I was sick a couple weeks ago and I missed 4 days of school? Yep, I do. Well, I have 7 missing assignments right now. This was just a couple weeks ago. Right? 7 missing assignments. I have 2 Fs. And Ethan, he's a good student, doesn't get Fs, doesn't usually have missing assignments, but was deathly ill, like was really sick for 4 days. Now, there's a part of me, right? And I as a dad, you just want to lay on that lecture. Sure. And I was sitting there thinking like, dude, I've seen you on your phone. I've seen you playing Oculus. I know you haven't been doing your work. Like, and there's that part of me that wants to just blast him and be like, hey, we don't get Fs, man, right? We don't have missing assignments. You need to get this done and just point and right. Instead, I was like, okay, I bet that took a lot of courage to tell me that, huh? So you welcome that. And I said, tell me more about that. I don't say, why did this happen? Tell me more about that. He'll explain. Because tell me more is I'm welcoming information. Why did you do that? That's accusatory, and it puts us psychologically.
Or how could you do that?
How could you do that? What's wrong with you, right? Yeah. And so when he starts explaining these things, well, now I don't have to lecture. And I'm like, and I think the response that I gave to Ethan was, Ethan, I was like, the story I'm telling myself is that you've been down this road already, like last semester. And I remember you coming through it just fine. What did you do that helped you succeed and overcome then? As much as I want to lecture my kid and just tell him all this great knowledge that I have and tell him what he thinks he should do, kids will usually tune out. And so do people when we're pointing the finger and lecturing. Sure. But when he's explaining to me the plan, right? Explaining to me the plan of what he's going to do and how he's going to execute. Well, now he's more sold on his plan. He's going to execute his plan. And all I have to do is be like, dude, that's a great idea. Like, how can I support you with that? Like, let's go, right? Fist bump. Well, now suddenly dad becomes a safe place to come and open up these conversations. Sure. And here's where I'll tell you it really pays off.
Yeah.
There were consequences there, right? Consequences where he had to go in the